Yeah, do you know why we lost so much territory?
Well, it's a long story, but I'll start in 1836.
Federalists had been in power for 3 years when in 1836, Centralists took power again with Santa Anna in the presidential position. For the following 12 years, Santa Anna would intermittently be in power. He would switch in the presidential position with other centralist politicians such as Anastasio Bustamante in 1839 and Nicolas Bravo in 1843. This long period in which Mexico was under centralist control can be named as the First and Second Centralist Republic. In 1836, the war with Texas that had started the previous year ended with the capture of Santa Anna in battle. The fact that he was captured made Texans force him to retire his troops and sign the Treaties of Velasco in exchange of his freedom. The Treaties of Velasco established that Texas would be now an independent country. At the same time, Santa Anna took power in Mexico initially as a federalist, but eventually turned into a centralist caudillo, which is basically a dictator, and in December of the same year, he established a new constitution which was centralist, the Seven Laws. This constitution established tough qualifications for voting and reorganized the political system. In 1838, the first French intervention took place. Because of the war between centralists and liberals, a French baker and other French citizens living in Mexico claimed that the war had damaged their businesses and properties. Because of this, France demanded Mexico to pay for them all. Mexican economy was terrible at the time. There was no economic growth and agriculture was not at its best. As a response, Mexico denied the accusations and declared that Mexico would not pay. France then blocked Veracruz port and bombarded San Juan de Ulúa's fortress. After several battles and defeats, France got the guarantee that Mexican government would pay 600,000 pesos. Curious fact, in the French intervention, Santa Anna lost his leg in a battle and made a national funeral for it, just for his leg. In the following years, Santa Anna took power again, and in 1842, Nicolas Bravo was made president. After this, Santa Anna took power again, and in the following years, he exploited Mexican economy with the constant war for taking back Texas. So basically, Santa Anna was telling Texas,
What, you think you're better than me? What the damn hell? No, no, you ain't no goddamn right. Ain't nobody got time for that, nigga.
people got tired of him, and he ended up getting exiled to Cuba in 1844. When Texas became independent, Mexico declared that any sign of intentions of the U.S. for annexating Texas would result in war. Even with this, Texas got annexed in 1848, and in 1846, the Mexican-American War began. After several battles, it became evident that Mexico was struggling to win. So, they decided to recover Santa Anna from the exile. Santa Anna took control of the troops and then he took the presidency of Mexico. Eventually, U.S. troops arrived to the capital and took the castle of Chapultepec, in which the so-called Niños Héroes committed suicide rather than surrender against the U.S. Even when the Mexican army was basically defeated, Santa Anna was still telling the U.S.,
You need a kind of hot Campbell soup to help you warm up your cold dead heart. What, you think you're better than us? You think you can win us? You think you can beat us? Well, you can't. You can't.
After the defeat of the Castillo de Chapultepec, Santa Anna on February 2 of 1848 signed the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, in which Mexico recognized Texas' annexation to the U.S. and sold California and New Mexico for $15 million. Curious fact, the main reason why the U.S. wanted the Western Territory and began the Mexican-American War was because of the so-called Manifest Destiny, which claimed that it was God's destiny and decision that the U.S. should expand to the west.
Basically, that is what happened.
Oh, thank you, Grandpa. Now I get it.